Hey, I just wanted to do an update. So yesterday was a really tough day. That was Saturday, and we decided to put Lily down, help her transition over, because she had had a pretty rough Friday night and honestly a pretty rough last 8 months. She hung in there incredibly well, even when her liver was obviously going into failure, and the vets really didn't give her more than a few weeks. Wanted to run a lot of panels, which I just decided not to put her through. It was obvious her liver was involved. She had jaundice all over her belly and her eyes, and and she had started to have a little ascites, which is when you get a little fluid in your belly. This was back in August, and in a weekend, I hammered down. I read everything I could about liver disease and dogs and did everything I could, and the ascites went away in 3 days, which is kind of unheard of. And so I had a lot of hope that she'd come back, and she just had too much muscle loss. So it's been a rough few months, but she's such a good dog, like she really hung in there. So I think that was probably the best thing we could have done for her. And even, she even worked a little this week. Like, she came to the office on Friday and, got up for the first person, didn't for the last two, but wagged her tail, got up a little, moved around. But, I had to have her drained on Friday, her belly, because she had had ascites this last month. So every 2 weeks or so, we've been draining her belly, and that's just been really hard. It's just obvious that that's not going to end well. But she seemed happy still and wanting to be around, and so I couldn't take that away until I knew. And she let us know. We slept on the floor Friday night with her because she couldn't stand really well anymore, and she wasn't able to go to the bathroom. So we just kind of piled the towels on and let what happened happen. And she, we got a good snuggle night. She didn't seem uncomfortable. She never was in a lot of pain, which is really great to not have to see that. But anyway, just so you guys know, Lily came to me 5 years ago. My partner had crossed paths with her when she was a puppy, but she wasn't able to get a puppy at the time. So she ended up having Remy, who I ended up getting to see out of this world later in life. Remy was an amazing schnauzer, big white beard, just a gorgeous, super sweet lover. And so Lily was given to us. So after the owners had her for 6 years, they decided they wanted to have a child, and that Lily wouldn't have been good with kids, which is wild to me because Lily came to the office and was great with kids. Unless you were like too much. Then Lily was like annoyed and tried to hide from you. But, she wasn't going to fight you or anything. So she was a little sassy, but came to us, and they told us that she was untrainable and to never let her off a leash, because she'll run from you. She's got food aggression. She's got all the things you don't want in a dog that's 6 years old. So, when we first picked her up, her hips were really thin. Like, she was pretty atrophied, especially on her right hip. They kept her in a kennel for a long time, just kind of left her in there, and then fed her like a really small little bottom of a Solo cup, like tiny amount of food. So of course she had food aggression because she was literally not eating enough. And so I think she needed to find the right home. And I remember we picked her up in the Lowe's parking lot. The owners couldn't have given us over to her quicker with all of her things. I thought this was a trial run. This wasn't a trial run. This was we're getting a dog today run. So here we have a dog, and she's got this tiny pink collar, which I was like, what? And she looked kind of prissy. Her haircut was done a certain way, and I was like, I don't know about this. This looks like a high maintenance dog. This looks like a dog that's not healthy and that is going to be a difficult creature to have in the life of yourself, essentially have around. So that day, Sarah had a call. She used to do some forensic stuff, so she got a call in for a body that was found. So she gets to go in for her favorite part of her job in the past and work all day digging in the dirt. Like, so great for her. I got to take this prissy little dog to breakfast. I went to All Day Darlin and sat outside, and everybody was like, what a cute dog. And I was like, great, thanks. Like, I just got her. And then I decided to take her to get a new collar so she fit the role better, and a little vest, because they never taught her really well how to walk on a leash. So I got her little vest, and I went disc golfing with this dog, and she loved it. And I remember the second time I went disc golfing with her, I let her off leash, and I said, Lily, if you want to run from me, now's the time. Like, find your family or stick around. Like, I'm not too attached yet. Like, you seem like you have a solid head on your shoulders. You decide. And she just stayed within 30 feet pretty much the entire time, always in sight of us, and had a blast. Ran all around. I think she's never been so free. So we've had Lily ever since. And I went back to Sarah that first day and I said, you know, like, on the off chance something happens with us, she's mine, right? Like, this is my dog. So Sarah knew from the beginning that was going to be how that was going to be, which luckily, you know, she's our dog all the way. But yeah, so I very quickly fell in love with this dog. And then we went to Nepal in 2019 in October, thank God, right before COVID. So we end up having this huge trip. We're going to go do the Annapurna Circuit trek, right? And it's once in a lifetime experience. And this dog, we've only had a few months, decides she's freaked out because she sees our bags. We didn't know that was going to be a trigger for her. She sees our bags and starts to freak out. And by freak out, I mean bleed internally, like self-destruction mode. Dogs can do that. What is wrong with this dog? I circled back, like, what's happening? This creature is self-destructing. You know how many vets we took her to? And ultimately they said, yeah, you know, stressed schnauzer syndrome, the triple S's. It's like, that's a thing? And so she was puking and pooping blood, coming out both ends, wouldn't drink water. I mean, so I just, I essentially put her on CBD and gave her water with a little dropper of water thing gently. And then, of course, we had to go to Nepal. So that was terrible. I almost didn't go at all because this dog, I was like, she may not live. You know, they really didn't think she'd make it. So she got to stay with Sarah's folks, and they took sweet, good care of her. And they have another schnauzer, so she had company. And, of course, we had little Shiloh and Remy at the time. So lots of schnauzer love. And she pulled through. And it was the best reunion ever, coming around the side of the house. And she saw me. And, you know, that was a big bonding moment. Her realizing that I wasn't going to leave. I know, not only after a few months, but it was a solid moment in our life together. So, I mean, Lily was really unique. If you never got to meet Lily, like, you know, she looked kind of like a high maintenance dog, and she was. She loved attention, and she loved her hair being cut, and she loved the hair dryer. I mean, I never even used the hair dryer on myself, and she heard that thing turn on, and she knew it was for her. It was after the shower, and so she would come running, you know, and just get all excited and pop up in the warm air, and oh, she just loved that. So I tried to do that often. Even in the end, when she was a little less mobile, she still loved the hair dryer, so she still got her kicks. But she was a super cool dog. I mean, she loved to go disc golf, stayed close with us. She wanted to be on everyone's lap. She ended up coming down to my office in the end of October 2019. It took us about 8 months or so until she was ready to come to the office, because she had some things we had to train out a little bit and get her feeling comfortable with us. And then when she started coming to the office, she really picked up her job and took it seriously, and she touched a lot of folks, and she definitely, you know, has left a vibe in there. So it's going to be a tough one to come back from. But in some weird way, it's like maybe good that it's happening during my journey, because, you know, I have a little bit more separation from the office right now, which in a lot of ways is not good, but in a lot of ways is probably great. So I don't have to walk through that, you know, that day-to-day routine with the obvious absence of my sidekick. So Anyway, I hope your weather at your house is amazing as it is here. I got a pretty sweet little yard. This is Lily's yard. Yeah, and I got a million Lily stories. I won't do them all, but it's good to kind of think back on how she was. You know, the last 8 months, you see her in a different way, and it's just a lot of work, you know, to maintain a very quickly aging dog, you know, and we've had sick dogs the whole way, right? Like Remy was pretty sick when I first met Sarah, and we got her health up quite well, but she had cancer all throughout her body. She still lived crazy long. We're not quite sure she was a rescue. And Shiloh ended up living till 15. She also had a liver issue, so our future schnauzers will be, you know, we're going to do a lot of liver supports early on. That's going to be an obvious one. A lot of milk thistle and things. A lot of dandelion, red clover. We did quite a lot with them with herbs. And Sam E and Denamarin. I mean, Denamarin is basically just Silymarin, which is milk thistle, and Sam E, which is, you know, involved in liver. Get out of your fly. Involved in liver metabolism and so that just cut out because I got an Amber Alert, which is crazy. You don't really get those that often. So anyway, my phone just totally froze up. So yeah, we supported Lily in a lot of ways with liver issues. And so after Remy passed, then Shiloh started to get sick. You know, so then we had a high maintenance dog there too. So then Shiloh eventually passed, and then we had Lily, and she was healthy for a few months, and then she started to get sick. So, you know, it's been a lot. If you've ever taken care of sick dogs, pets, people, it's a lot. So maybe it's good timing to focus in and try to get some better self-care habits, you know, on board before taking on another creature life. But, you know, it's going to be tough with an empty house. I like to have a furry baby around, so. We're going to have some friends over today for Easter and do a little barbecue and, you know, just try to get our minds off things. We're going to have them bring their dog Cooper over so we get a little dog time and, you know, just really live life. And I hope you all are too. I wanted to show you, let me get my matcha out of the way here, and just show you how I set up Lily. So we've created this. This top one is Remy. This is Shiloh, and now that's Lily. You can kind of see. We have a pretty good slope right here, so it's got some solar candles, and they're kind of like steps almost. I've kind of made them where they sort of step down because I like functionality, and I feel like it's a better way to, you know, work a burial site in to the yard where they're not tucked off somewhere they don't want to be. They're kind of right up close where they like to sit. This is the front yard, and so they have a nice little view, and you know, and watch us play some disc golf, which I'll show you. I kind of built this with my partner and a couple friends that helped. We got some poles up there with a net, and I got a driving range for disc golf. So, you know, I built in like stadium seating and all that, of course, and I got these steps that go all the way down, some plants. I got some white sand in the bottom. So pretty happy with my project. But yeah, so try to use this and relax and live some life. And if you haven't noticed, I'm trying out the mohawk idea. This is kind of fun. I didn't put a lot of effort in this morning because I'm probably going to have to wear a giant hat all day Like yesterday, we were outside all day with Lily, and we had the vet come to us, which was just amazing. So it was a really great little ceremony. But, you know, I can't go in the sun because of the chemo rash. So it's such a bummer. It's beautiful out, and I've got to be the weirdo, you know, with a big hat and long sleeves and maybe a bandana across my face. I don't know. I can't be in the sun. So anywho, wish me luck, and I hope you all have a great week. Thanks for tuning in.